What is up, everybody? It's your boy Rogue here. So, in today's video, I'm going to bring guys what I think is going to be the top 5 best meta decks coming into the October 20 format. The ban list just got announced today, and with that being said, well, got announced yesterday, rather. And with that being said, I think the meta is going to get shaken up, but not too much. Obviously, all my ban list countdowns for best decks. One is not better than five is not better than one. I think when you have a format where you got more than 5 decks that's solidly good, you can't really pick which one is going to be best. However, it's my job to give you guys what I think is going to be the best. So let's just get straight into the list. I ain't going to waste you guys' time. Starting with number 5, we're going to go ahead and say Flunderies. Now, Flunderies is a deck that didn't really get hit on the ban list. That's the face fact. They still got D-Shifter. They still got the Barrier Statue. They still got the fact they can summon monsters on your opponent's turn. They can tribute your opponent's cards. They got a lot of plays that they can make. What is that Family Guy song? Bird, bird, bird. The bird is the word. And then the boop out. Like literally, Flunderies, when you go into a tournament unprepared for the deck, they will Dougie all over you. I don't know if you guys are too young to know what the Dougie is, but they're gonna dance all over you. So considering it was already doing decent prior to this ban list, considering nothing got hit, but opposing decks that was fighting against Flunderies got weakened, I think it's going to be a strong contender. It's one of the better decks going into meta. Next up after Flunderies, I got Eldritch. Specifically, Eldritch pure trap heavy variants. You might even throw Brave Eldritch. I mean, there's going to be a tons of different Eldritch variants to try out. However, the trap heavy Eldritch deck is going to be really good. They got triple skill drain, all the Eldritch stuff. They got there can only be one. I mean, I can go on and on about all the floodgates that they do have and that they can main deck. My biggest gripe with Konami on this most recent ban list is the fact that they hit Red Reboot, which is one of the main cards hurting these Eldritch matchups. Like, people always say, one card don't make a difference. Well, in Yu-Gi-Oh, that is completely wrong, because while it was sacky, when you're running a deck that can use a card like Pot of Prosperity, for example, or if you're just drawing through your deck and deck denting a lot, you're going to draw that one of in your deck to try to do some damage on your opponent. And in a lot of combo decks like myself, or in decks that can search a lot, that's what Red Reboot did for us. It helped us stop trap heavy decks like the Eldritch, where they won't run rampant. Nevertheless, we got to deal with it now. I know there's like Mystic Mind, Eldritch, Trap, man. There are so many Eldritch variants. Like, I have skill drain PTSD just thinking about it. However, they're really good. They're really good options. They top 8 regionals all the time. They top big events. They never win, but they top big events all the time. So with that being said, strong contender as at least top 4 best decks for the format. Number 3, we have Runix. Now, and I say Runix as in Runic variants. I personally have only played against the deck once, and that was a Sprite Runic variant. But I have seen pure versions use Mystic Mind. I've seen other pure versions of Runix in the metagame in general that just did pretty good. I like Runix as an engine more than a deck. And as a deck, it's more of a slow roll deck. The deck has a lot of searching. It has a lot of draw power via the field spell. And all the quick play spells are hand traps. So literally, they have one that banishes top card of your opponent's deck. They can pop spells and traps. I mean, they can do a lot. And they recycle their extra deck monster, the $15 one that always allows protection for the field spell. So considering they can do all of that, Runix is one of those decks that's really strong for the metagame. The deck is going to be... expect Runic variants just to run rampant this format. We didn't get a ban list, and I'm sorry, what am I saying? We did get a ban list. It's just that we didn't get the ban list that we wanted with the Mystic Mind getting hit, and with Runix being honestly outside of just really good with Mystic Mind, it is one of the best decks to counter Mystic Mind. So with that being said, don't count it out, man. Don't be surprised when you see all these different Runic variants running rampant. Number 2 and number 1, they were both kind of tied. You guys probably already figured what they were. Number 2, I'm gonna go ahead and say Sprites. Sprite, this was really tied as for number 1. Number 1 is Tier Elements, obviously, but let me go over Sprite real fast. it didn't really hit me on how much losing Toad hurts Sprite now. With Toad gone, like I said, there's Trickstar variants that was good in the OCG of sprites. There is the Live Twin variants that's pretty solid with sprites. I've seen variants that run the Brave engine. Like I've seen different variants. Now, while they all do run Toad, I can definitely tell you the fact that sprites do have their built-in monster effect negator, the fact that they have the Spell and Trap negator, the fact that Elf can spam the monster negator, you still are gonna have to deal with at least 1 to 2 negates in a turn, just not in the form of Totally Awesome. Totally Awesome was a really huge card that allowed that deck to run rampant. And don't be surprised if people figure out a way to splash Toad and Sprite still via a different method. I don't know how they're going to do it yet because I don't play the deck. However, I won't be surprised if people do. YuGiOh players are nuts. You guys are really creative. We're always innovating stuff. So I think Sprite still can do some damage. I saw Lithium made a video on it already. And even in his discussion in his video, he was stating that sprites were, it's still solid, just a little weak. They're still trying to figure out how they're going to run a Toad. Some people were talking about running subs to Toad. However, with that being said, the world may never know. But yeah, man, don't sleep on sprites. I've seen it a lot where meta decks got hit. Everyone thought the deck was going to be bad. Then there's one guy, because I mean, we have YCS Minnesota coming up. We're still in regional season. Don't be surprised when people are still going with sprites, guys. Don't be surprised. Like I said, that double elf negate is real, and sprite players who are playing the deck are just gonna have to find ways to evolve that deck. Now, obviously, number one, tier limits. While they get hit by hitting that Chaos Dragon, that mill 5 on summon, they still have tons of other players to play. And there's also tons of other variants of tier limits to play. So you got like tier limit Despia. I saw some people running tier limit Heroes where they just spam Darkrai with Master Change number 2. Tier limits can do some stuff. While they do rely on milling stuff to the graveyard, and if your opponent's side deck can DD Crow, they can just stop some of their monster effects. However, them milling and then allowing them to fusion out of the graveyard is still really good. Having the extra resources is always powerful. There's going to be also maybe even potential invoke builds coming back into play. I remember seeing people use invoke tier limits at locals just to bring out Mechaba and then Winda. Like the list can go on, man. Like I'm just thinking about how the meta game is going to be, and like I said, I couldn't pick between Sprite being number one or tier limit being number one. However, with that being said, just based on what everyone's saying online, don't be surprised if you guys see tier limits overtake your locals versus sprites, because right now the current meta that we're in, sprites is like winning locals like crazy. Because while it can do some damage still, as far as what it was doing last format, on the metagame scene, on like the YCSs and stuff, sprites weren't really, they were winning and they were topping, but they weren't winning everything. You had a lot of rogue decks that was countering sprite winning the events, and you had a lot of tier limits in the top tables as well. But nowadays, I think, considering sprite got hit, and you guys already know how the bad good players are. Like they pick the most popular decks, they play the deck, the best card getting hit in the deck, and instead of trying to re-innovate it, they'll just scrap it for something else. I think we're gonna see a lot of people doing that and hopping on the tournament bandwagon until somebody top with Sprite and discover a new good build or whatever build is the better. Ultimately, in conclusion, man, these are the decks I think is gonna be the top 5 best decks in the format. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section down below. Like the video if you guys are new here. If you want to subscribe for more, subscribe for more. I always have a goal of at least 500 likes or 2 super thanks. Is highly appreciative. All right, guys. Like I said, this is innovation. What am I saying? This is YuGiOh. I'm signing out, man. Peace, stay innovative. Deuces.